My regrets look just like texts I shouldn't send. And I got neighbors that more like strangers, we could be friends. I just need a way out of my head. I'll do anything for a way out of my head.
A big goal of mine and a big reason that I started this YouTube channel was to share my enjoyment
for books.
What better place than to make this video amongst a bunch of books? As I see it, reading has become something that everyone secretly wishes that they did, and if they don't do it, then they call it performative. At least I've experienced that a little bit. And not everyone, obviously. Some people respect reading. I do. But reading has been crippled slightly by people trying to virtue signal how many books that they read. So they'll post on Instagram, just read this book, or Kim Kardashian will read The Alchemist, for example, and then a bunch of people go read that book. It's a great book, by the way, but even still, some of that is a little bit repulsive. And I'm definitely guilty of doing that. I've made a bunch of videos that say, I read a book a week, here's my, which is just a content tactic to try and get people to respect me in that realm. To each their own. When you first begin reading, though, not for school, and you actually complete the book back to front, you think that that first book is the greatest book ever to have been given to mankind. That's what happened to me. I was 17, or maybe 18. I'm 20 now, and my boss gave me this book called Miracle Morning, and it was about life before 8 a.m. I picked it up and instantly read a mind-boggling 30 pages without pausing. And I got into that flow state a little bit, all by myself. No teacher told me, there was no assignment I had to do about it. And so I was pretty much hooked at that point. And despite the book being pretty much common sense, waking up earlier makes the day easier, doing stuff like journaling, working out, reading, meditating, etc. in the morning will make your day feel easier. Regardless of how trivial it was, it struck a chord for me. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it was likely just due to the fact that I haven't ever read a book before at that point, especially on my own free will. And I even got 2 of my friends to read it. And that was because I spoke of it with so much conviction that they probably thought, wow, this thing must be incredible. And now 2 years and literally a few hundred books later, that book reads to me like the ABCs, quite frankly.
Gone away my heart, locked inside a cage for you.
Which to me just tells me that I was intellectually infantile. I was a baby in academia. I didn't really know much at all. And I've learned more through reading than I ever thought possible. I just wanted to start because I wanted to be smart. So what's my point in this video? Candidly, frankly, simply put, reading has changed my life, and I think it can change yours too. Ironically, I was reading somewhere, and this was the beginning of my reading journey. I read that the average American reads less than 1 book per year. And then the average millionaire reads 1 book per week. So almost 60 books a year. I do not think that reading should be measured. I don't think you should be going after reading a certain amount of books. Rather, the way I took it up was I wanted to just read every day for 30 minutes to an hour. However, I gave myself permission on days when I didn't really want to read a page or 2 pages, and that is something I talk about on my YouTube all the time, being the secret to any consistency that I've attained. And now, after reading hundreds of books, and I'm not exaggerating, I just read them. I don't know. I like reading now. Now I can confidently say that I can read any book. So I am currently reading a lot of Dostoevsky just because I want to lock that into my repertoire to get some of those Russian literature classics out of the way. But I'm also reading a book on effective neuroscience by John Kinsep or something like that. So science, philosophy, those are just what I'm compelled to read. But science books are among the most difficult to read. And it's no problem because I first started reading what I wanted to read. And that's largely what I do now. But then you read what you love and so you love to read. It's a quote from Naval. I got that from a book. And at this moment, I'll bounce between 10 different books. I don't read one book front to back. It's this loose, fluid, non-obligation. There's no obligation around it is what I'm trying to say. But ironically, I started reading for such shallow reasons. To be smart, to develop a good vocabulary, which are fine reasons to start. Most people first start going to the gym just so they can get laid. And reading to be smart is a similar pursuit. But that said, reading every morning has undoubtedly transformed me. And I'll attribute any amount of success I may achieve, even if it's none, I'll attribute everything I've done, good or bad, to reading. So take that with a grain of salt. To this day, I wouldn't say I've actually achieved anything yet, but my hope is that if I just keep making these videos every single day, that eventually someone will want to watch them. But even if they don't, what I'm learning to do is be okay with if no one watches them at all. So this video is my tribute. Plus, I'm in it make a video every day challenge. 30 days of Wally is what I'm calling it. So I had to make a video. But I'm going to give you guys one book suggestion. And this is to anyone. It's hard for me to narrow down one video. I could easily make a video on books for business, books for science, books for spirituality, etc. However, just one book that anyone should read is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And this one's about becoming a happier person through getting to know the voice in your head, the inner roommate, as he calls it. And it's simply written. It's very easy to read, and it will change your life. I can say that undoubtedly. It's the best book I've ever read. Again, I've at this point read probably close to 200 books. I'm not going to go through, count the bookshelves and count because that would be stupid. However, it's definitely in the hundreds at this point, and if you want reading tips, I do have videos on that. Not as well put together as this video, but happy reading, everyone. I'm trying to make reading cool again. Peace.